A librarian asked me to discuss Erik Larson's book, The Dead Weight, The Last Crossing of the Lusitania, because it's similar in theme to my own Deadly Secret of the Lusitania. I have to agree that Erik Larson's book is a splendid work. He introduces his readers to the daily life on board the Lusitania, which was quite luxurious, and to the squalid life on board the German submarine that attacked it. He also brings his readers into an acquaintance with the principal world leaders, the bewildered and unhappy Chancellor of Germany, the lovelorn President of the United States, and the cynical First Lord of the British Admiralty. And finally, he exposes the readers to the big conspiracy theory, still very much alive out there, according to which the British Admiralty set up the Lusitania to be torpedoed so that it would bring the United States into the war. It's a huge achievement, but I think what is missing in this huge achievement is a discussion of the political cover-up that followed the Lusitania sinking. After all, what was important about the Lusitania is not what happened, but what people were led to believe happened. And in the aftermath of the Lusitania, there was a big political cover-up. The cover-up on both sides of the Atlantic was intended to convince the public that 2 torpedoes had struck the Lusitania. In fact, we now know only 1 torpedo struck the Lusitania, and this torpedo was followed by a second explosion that was internal to the ship. But the authorities insisted there had been 2 torpedoes in order to avoid a public discussion of the probable content of the Lusitania that led to the second explosion. Because if it was, as we now know, it may have been munitions bound illegally for the British Admiralty, then this would have led to a quite different political set of consequences. So the political cover-up in the aftermath of the Lusitania is the thematic background of Deadly Secret of the Lusitania. And the cover-up is approached through the fictional adventures of an insurance investigator and his German-American girlfriend. These two have decided to assist an unfortunate stevedore's widow who's been cheated out of her life insurance benefit, and in doing so, unexpectedly, they come into possession of solid information regarding what was actually on board the Lusitania. They know and can prove that there were 217,000 pounds of munitions on board that ship that were disguised as cheese. Well, this information is deadly because, and hence the title of the book, Deadly Secret of the Lusitania, and it brings down around their unsuspecting heads British and German spies, the newly created FBI, waterfront criminals, fighters from the Irish Republican Army, and Tammany Hall politicians, as well as a rogue socialist from the IWW. So the tensions between these rival gangs of pro-war and anti-war enthusiasts is what creates the suspense in Deadly Secret of the Lusitania. The background for the book, however, is the old American adage that truth is the first casualty of war, and truth was the first casualty of America's entry into the First World War. That is, suppression of the truth about the Lusitania was the first casualty of the American war, the First World War. And it's a very relevant background to have, because truth is still the first casualty of war. Truth was the first casualty of the Vietnam War, when the authorities passed out the story about the Gulf of Tonkin, and truth was the first casualty of the invasion of Iraq, when authorities told the world and told the American public that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq.